What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video showing you guys how to set up a forum board. Now, as I stated in the intro of the video, I wanted to show you guys how to set up a bulletin board slash forum board. And if you ever wondered how that was created, well, there's basically some programs out there that are considered content management systems that are used to manage the forum board. You can create accounts, and just pretty much all forum boards pretty much use this software or this type of software, where there is free versions of it that are written in PHP, and I've used a few of them in the past. I was trying to set up a forum board at one point for a community that I was trying to create, and the one I originally came across was PHP-BB, and based on the name, you know, it's written in PHP. Well, I found a newer one that I wanted to kind of show you guys, and I'm not sure if it's a fork or if it's its own project, but it's called MyBB. And I know there are plenty of these bulletin board applications out there, or content management systems out there that you could use. I believe WordPress actually has one as well. It's developed by the WordPress team. But this is one that I wanted to show you guys that how to install on like a simple LAMP web server. And I thought it would be cool, you know, to go through it, show you guys how to install it, as well as configure it and get it set up in case you want to create a community board. And I know nowadays forum boards are kind of getting less and less people signing up for them because of places like, or applications like Discord, where you can set up a Discord server and people could discuss, and you can create different rooms on Discord. But there's still a need for forum boards, especially when it comes to helping people. A lot of people still search those forum boards for solutions, or if they're searching for a specific problem, then forum boards are places that people go to actually look for certain things, and you can niche it down to a specific topic that you want to cover on the forum and manage it all yourself from a Ubuntu 20.04 server. So let me go down and walk you guys through how to set this up and get going with running your own forum board. So let's get started. Now, the first thing I want to do is go down and show you guys MyBB's website, and this gives you kind of an overview of what MyBB is. And like I stated, it's similar to PHP-BB, which has been around for a long time. This is one of the most used bulletin board content management systems out there, and it's free and open source, as well as MyBB. But I wanted to show you PHP-BB in case you're interested. They have a big community behind it, because a lot of people set up their own personal forum boards using PHP-BB. There are a whole bunch of tools where you can put themes and modules that you can add to it to make it run a whole lot better, especially when it comes to moderation. You can set up moderators on the actual forum board that can help you manage, you know, the comments and all that stuff. But PHP-BB is a good solution as well, and I didn't want to show a different one without showing this one first, because I know that this one is kind of like an OG, so to speak. It's been around for a while. But let me go down and show you guys the one that I'm going to install today, which is MyBB. And to be honest, I'm not sure if it's a fork of PHP-BB, but I believe this one is written in PHP as well, from what I've read. I haven't installed this one before, but based on all the information I read about it, it has a big community behind it as well. And it looks a little bit more modern in my opinion, and I'm not sure, they may have changed PHP-BB, because the last time I installed a PHP-BB was like 2019. That was the last time I actually had one where I was trying to go down and set up a forum board, but I just let that one die, deleted it off, and then I found this one. And this one, I think it'll probably be a better solution for nowadays, the way it actually looks. And just to show you a little bit on how it looks, you know, you can create nice looking forum boards on this thing. that looks a little bit more modern than the standard forum boards that you typically see around. You know what I'm saying? So this is super cool. You can make the forum board almost look like a website. So it's pretty cool. It has a big community behind it, like I stated. One thing I wanted to kind of show you guys, just read a little bit about it. It says rad community. They have extendables, which is, you know, plugins, themes, all kind of stuff. It says it's simple to use, just like PHP-BB. It's simple to use as well. Once you get it up and going, it's very simple to use. So if you've even just signed up for a forum board, then you can kind of run one of these things just by understanding how to manage your account. The admin account, it just has more features in there. You just have to click around and find it, play around with it, and you can get this thing set up and you can run it yourself, no problem. And then also down here, you know, you can get involved. You can actually contribute to the project. You can donate to the project. And here's a little information about the project. And I also opened up the GitHub page for you guys, so you can actually see the source code. And also it is under a LGPL 3.0 license. It's free and open source. It's just certain stipulations that are tied to the LGPL 3.0 license, and you will have to look at it to see exactly what those stipulations are. But you can check this out, you know, at your leisure. It has a little information on it, as well as the contributors. It's a whole bunch of contributors and backers for this actual project, and so it looks like it's going to be around for a while. So I would recommend you use this one or PHP-BB, because they have people currently developing on these projects. So super cool. But the way you actually download it, first thing you need is a working web server, and you can just download it. It's best to download it directly on the server, especially if it's a Ubuntu server. You know, it's all command line, so you will use wget to actually download it. But let's go on and get to that point. So let me switch over to my virtual machine. Okay, cool. So I have my virtual machine up and running. It's Ubuntu Server 20.04, and let me run a uname on it so you guys can see -a, and that way we can see everything about the system. So it's Linux, Ubuntu Server 20. That's the host name, and then this is the kernel. Is 5.4.0.65 generic, so it's that kernel right there. So we're good to go. And one thing, like I stated earlier, you have to have a working LAMP server or a LAMP stack installed on your Ubuntu server. Well, and LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, or MariaDB, and PHP installed. And I already have everything prepared to actually install MyBB on the server. I have Apache installed and configured correctly. I have MySQL configured correctly, and I have PHP and all the modules installed on there. And if you need any help with installing LAMP stack, I have created multiple videos on how to install LAMP stack, as well as setting up virtual hosts in Apache. So if you guys want to check those videos out, I'll probably pop them up in a second. But let's go on and get to the install. And the first thing we really need to do is download this zip file from the website. And one thing you can do, or one way to get it, is just basically go to the download page like we're here, and then you can right click on it and hit copy link address, and then you can paste that into your terminal, which is what I'm finna do right now. So let's switch over here, and I'm gonna use the wget command, and you could just download it in whatever directory you're in. So I'm in the home directory, obviously, because of the tilde. But let's go down and type wget-c. And one thing about copying things and pasting them into the terminal, if you're using like a virtual machine, you can't really paste things to the terminal like that. So it's best to SSH into the server, and you're in a terminal that you can paste things in, which is what I'm about to do. So, and hold on one second. I actually didn't even copy the link, so sorry about that, but just give me 1 second. and I will back this off and paste in the right link. So as you can see, that's the MyBB link. That's the most current version, which is 1.8.24. so let's go down and download that now into my home directory. And as you can see, it don't take that long. It's a very small file. It's basically all the files that you need to put on to your web server in the HTML directory, and I'll show you guys how to do it. Let's go down and unzip it though, because basically that file is in a zip format. And let's ls this directory so you guys can kind of see it. But ls-a, as you can see, that is the zip file we just downloaded. So let's go ahead on and unzip that file. So let's type unzip, and I'm gonna tab just to make sure I have zip installed, which I don't think I do. So let's run sudo apt install unzip and press enter, and let's type in our passwords. And I messed up my password, so just give me 1 second. Type in that password, press enter, and still messed it up. So let me go on and type it in one more time and make sure we're good to go. And there we go. So we're gonna install zip and unzip. Well, I should have put zip on there as well, saying suggested packages. But yeah, if you install zip unzip, you might want to put zip on there as well, in case you need to zip something up, you know, at some point. It's a relatively small install, so it doesn't take that long. So I just went on and did it right fast. But now that we have unzip on there, we can unzip that actual directory, so, or that file, that zip file. So let's type MyBB, and that's that zip file. So, and then one thing about unzip, there's an option in order to name the folder that you want the zip file to be in. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna just name it MyBB and press enter. And so we can ls this directory again, and we should have a folder in there that says MyBB. And if we ls that directory as well, so let's type MyBB and press enter. As you can see, that's what we need right there. So it has a upload folder, and the upload folder has all the files for the website. So let's go down and move this directory over to our HTML folder under var www. So let's type sudo move mybb, and then we want to move that over to our var www HTML directory, and that's where we want it to go. So let's press enter, and it will move that directory over to that location. And we needed to use sudo because that directory is owned by root, so we have to use sudo in order to move anything over there or copy anything to that directory. Now, one thing, let's go down and change some of the permissions and ownership right fast. So one of the things we need to do, let's start off by changing the ownership of the MyBB directory. So let's type sudo ch own, and what we want to do is use the dash capital R, and then the Apache account that's needed for this directory is www-data, and this account should be on there. And we want to use the group as well, so www-data. And then now after that, we want to specify the location that we want to make those changes to as far as the ownership. So let's go var www and then HTML, and then let's type in the MyBB directory, and let's press enter. We're good to go. So we changed the ownership, and we can check that ownership. I'll check it in a second, but I want to go down and do the permissions right fast for that directory as well. And I just upped the arrows so I can bring that back up. But let's back this off, and then we want to do a chmod now, and this will change the permissions of that directory. So let's go dash R, and what the dash capital R is for, recursive. It'll change the permissions from the top directory all the way down to the lowest level within that directory, so recursively. And that's the same thing with the ch own. That's why I use the dash capital R for that change the ownership recursively. Now the permissions that we want to do is 775, which is fine, and let's press enter, and that'll change the permissions of that directory and everything below it. So good to go. Now one thing we need to do, and let me clear right fast so you guys don't get confused, because that one section, you know, that's all everything dealing with getting the files onto the server. Now let's go on and configure Apache. And like I stated, we already have Apache installed. The first thing we need to actually do is create the virtual host for our MyBB install. So one thing we need to do is go over to that directory under Apache. And one thing I forgot to do was actually show you guys the permission of that other directory. So let's go var www and then html and then mybb and press enter. And as you can see, this is the owner right here, and then this is the group, and then the permissions are set to 775, which is what that is right there. So 775, rewrite and execute on the world. I mean, read and execute on the world. So let's go down and clear that right fast and get back to actually modifying Apache. So let's go sudo nano, and then we want to go into our etc directory, and then Apache, and it's Apache 2 if you guys don't know, and then sites available, and let's go to that directory, and we want to create a configuration file for our site for Apache. So let's type mybb.config, and actually I typed that in wrong, but conf. So you want to make sure you type conf at the end of it. Press enter, and I already created the information that needs to be put in there. I actually got it from MyBB's website, so they have an example up there for you, so you can actually use that as well. And the only reason I'm using that is so I don't mistype anything, but I already typed it in, typed in the changes. But you pretty much need to make changes here under the server name. So if you have a domain name that you wanted to have, you want to put that in there, and then the alias, and really it's supposed to be www.forum.kit.test, and then the server alias I typically put forum.kit. So it's basically the www on the top one and www on the alias, and then you also want to put in the location of the site. So this is the document root. That's pretty much the directory where MyBB is located. So you basically have to specify that as well. And then another reason I copy it, because they had a couple of options that they recommend you use as far as like follow symbolic links, allow override all, you know, order all, allow deny, allow from all. So you can look at the documentation and it'll specify exactly what you need to change on the Apache server in order to get it to work. But I just went on and threw it in there. You can follow what I have, or you can, you know, go to their website. They have some options in there that you can follow. But let me go down and save that. Once you got the configuration set up, right, then just go down and hit Control X, and then we want to save those changes to that file. Boom, and now we're good. So we have our configuration for the forum board. Now let's go down and enable that forum board or that configuration on Apache. So let's go down and type sudo, and the command to enable a site is basically Apache 2. That's the way I say it. I just say the letters out loud. Well, I don't say them out loud, but I just basically follow this format. It's basically Apache 2 enable site. And if you look at the command, that's basically what it's saying. So the A is for Apache 2, you know, for the name, and then enable, so that's en, and then site. Boom, good to go. So all we have to do is type in that configuration file that we created, so mybb.conf, and press enter. and it will enable that site. And so one thing you have to do after that is actually reload Apache. So we could do that right now. So let's go sudo systemctl reload Apache 2 and let's press enter, and that'll reload Apache. So everything took, and then it was also something else I meant to show you guys, but you need to enable a mod. So one of those mods that you need to enable on Apache, and it's all good that we reload it. We can reload it again, reload Apache again, because it'll, you know, pick up these changes as well if we run it again. So one thing you need to enable is rewrites. So let's type that in there, rewrites, and press enter. That'll enable that Apache mod that we created. So let's go down and restart the server again. And actually I won't do reload, I'll do restart based on what it's giving me after doing that. It says run systemctl restart Apache 2. So that's what we did. So it should be good to go. That's enabled. As you can see, it said enabled, enabling module rewrite, and it was good to go. And also we didn't get any errors when we restarted Apache, so that lets us know that it took as well. Now that we've configured Apache, one of the next things you want to do before we actually start the site or bring it up is to create a database, because you need a database created. And like I said, that's part of the LAMP stack. So you got Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Well, we need to configure MySQL. Well, MySQL is already has the base configuration. I already have a root account set on the MySQL server, and I went through the whole base configurations of setting up MySQL as far as securing it and all that stuff. So I won't show you guys that. Like I said, refer to my last video where I did that. Now let's go down and log into MySQL right fast. And the way you do that is simply by typing sudo Marion, and what I have is MarianDB installed. It's basically a fork of MySQL, so it's pretty much the same thing, and it works exactly the same way. So MarianDB and then -u, and like I said, I already have a root account installed, so let's go down and log into it. And now let's go down and create our database right fast. So let's type creates database, and then let's type let's name it. So I'm gonna name it MyBB, and then you want to put a semicolon at the end and press enter, and that'll create our database. Now we're good to go. Now we need to create a user account for this database, and let's type in that. So let's type grant all on MyBB, and then you want to put store well, period, and then store. So that's basically anything underneath MyBB database, this user has access to it. So let's type 2, and we gotta, you know, create our account. So MyBB user, that's what I'm gonna name it, and then let's put a colon there, and then let's type the @ symbol, and then what we want to do is specify localhost. And that's basically saying that this account will be under this computer, which is localhost. And it's a single quote. Don't put in double quotes like I just did and backed it off. Just put a single quote. So, and then it's identified by. So make sure you type in identified and not indentified, because that's what I always have an issue where I run into typing identified wrong. So let's type IDENTIFIED by, and then we need to put a password in here. So I'm gonna do password with a capital P, 1 2 3, and then you got to put that second single quote in there, and then let's put a semicolon at the end, and press enter. And that should create that account for us. And then now last thing, let's just flush privileges, boom, and then just put the semicolon on the end of it, and we are good to go. So let's go down and hit quits or exit. Well, I'm gonna just type quits, and that'll quit out of MarianDB for us. But we have everything set up for us, and make sure whatever password you name it, you write it down somewhere or you remember it, so you can put it in when it asks you for, when you get to that step during the installation of MyBB. So let me copy it right fast so I can just paste it in when we get to that point. I'll paste it on in a notepad. But all right, now one thing I'm gonna do before actually going to the website is, this is something that you don't want to really pay attention to unless you don't have a domain name. And one thing I'm gonna do is create a record in my host file, and that way it'll allow my system to go to this server by specifying the IP address. That way we can get to the installation portion of it. So I'm gonna exit out of the virtual machine, and then I'm gonna go to my host file. So let's go sudo nano etc and then host, and with a S. And as you can see, my host file doesn't have anything in it. I actually removed it before this video, or removed my host out of this file because I don't want you guys to see my other IP addresses. But we just want to go to that server, so 192.168.10.29, and then also you can put the domain name in there. And this is mainly for DNS. So if you don't have a domain name and you want to use a domain name for a specific IP address on your local network, what happens is your system, the first thing it does is look at your host file to try to resolve a IP address from a domain name. So if you have something in your host file for that IP, for that domain name, then it'll point you to the right IP address from that point, and you don't have to worry about remembering an IP address for something. So let's go down and save this right fast. Type Y for yes. Boom, good to go. Now let's go down and go to the website right now, since I edited my host file so we can get to it. Let's go down and go to it right fast. So I had the browser up again. Let's type in the website, and as you can see, it brings up the installation wizard. Now I'm gonna go down and walk you guys through it. This is basically a welcome page. It basically gives you some information on what's gonna happen through these steps. Now one thing I like to turn off, I don't like to send anonymous statistical data. I mean, this server is gonna be deleted after this, so it doesn't matter at this point. But let's go down and hit next. I'm gonna just turn it off though, and this is the license agreement, so we can hit next there. This is the requirements check. So one thing that the installation does, it verifies that everything is set up on your system correctly, and that's for PHP, that's for MySQL, just verifying that everything is there, and as well as the PHP extensions, as far as everything being writable and installed correctly. So let's go down and hit next. And then also one thing about it, it will let you know if something is not correct. So let's go down and hit next there. Now this is what I was talking about, how you have to put in your database information, and it starts off by asking you the user account. So I'm gonna just copy and paste it from my text file, and then let's go down and grab the password, which we save that as well. And one thing about it, localhost, if you have a different server that you're running this on, or a different MySQL server, like if it's on a different host, then you want to put the host name here. But since it's on this computer, everything is self-contained on this one computer, it's localhost, so that's all you have to do. And then also let's go down and put the database name in there, and it's MyBB. And just to show you guys, this is the table prefixes, so it'll put MyBB underscore, and then on the name, all the tables underneath it with that prefix in front of it. So we can hit next, and this will go on and install all the tables. So this will take a little time because it's going through, it's connecting, it's verifying the connection to the SQL server, and then it's creating all the tables or generating the tables. So As you can see, everything was created successfully. It says all tables have been created. So next we need to populate them with the data that it needs. So data insertion, there we go, and it's gonna populate the data. And then right here is the theme insertion, so it'll put all the theme information or in the tables. And then this is the board configuration, which was the next step. You can change this up based on whatever you want to name the form. Like I'm gonna leave it all defaults. It doesn't matter for me because this is gonna be deleted after this, like I stated. So we good to go. We can hit next on that. And then this is where it'll ask you to create a account. I'm gonna just use admin, and then I'll type in a super strong password for the admin account. Boom. And then let's retype it. Boom. And it's gonna ask you for a email address. So I'm gonna just type in KeepItTechie, and that's already there. So I'm gonna select that, but KeepItTechie@gmail.com. And then let's hit next. And then this will complete the installation of MyBB. So we're good. It says importing user groups, done. Creating administrator account, done. Building administrator permissions, done. Building data cache, done. And since we just finished the installation, we have access to everything now. We can actually go to the forum board itself, and then we can also go to the admin control panel, and I'll show you guys that now. I just clicked on the forum, so this will show you the forum. This is what it looks like, and it's basically a base setup, you know, with no information error. So obviously you have to go through and create everything on this forum board, you know, yourself from scratch. And then if we go to the control panel, this will ask you for your username and password. So let's go on and type that in now. So let's go admin, and then let's type in our password. Boom, log in. And then this is the administrative dashboard. So you can go through and look at this, you know, check it out for yourself. It basically gives you some statistical data on the server, as well as forum statistics. And so that's a good thing that you're greeted with as soon as you log into it on the dashboard. You can also check for updates under here. So it says, congratulations, you're running the latest version of MyBB. So you're good to go. And then there are some other features in here, and I won't go through them all. This is a quick access bar. This is part of the dashboard right here, so you can go to MyBB documentation from here, the credits, you know, and some preferences. And then also, like I said, under the quick access, you can add a new form. You can search for users, themes, templates, plugins, database backup. So you can do all that from here. And right now I'm logged in under the admin account, and it gives the IP address of the location where you logged in from. And then so you can go under configuration, and I'll just kind of quickly breeze through this, but you can look at the forms. So you can create a new form. Right now it just creates a default my form at the top, which is what's shown on the first page. So my form, with no threads underneath it. You can create a thread, you know what I'm saying, or you can rename the form, or create a new form underneath it. But this thing has a lot of things that you can modify in here. You can go through and manage your users and groups. You can create like a moderator group. You have banners, all kind of stuff you can change. You can send out mass email, and templates and styles. So you can go in and actually install themes that are out there. So it connects to the MyBB kind of repository where all the themes are stored. So you can download these and install them directly from here. And then under here is tools and maintenance. So you can go through here, you know, cache management, task management, rebuild the database, database backups, optimize the database, administrative logs, moderator logs. Pretty much all your logs are there, spam logs, statistics. So that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of show you guys. Like I stated, it's not much to see on the front page when it's, you know, kind of bare bones with nothing on it. But this is how it actually looks, you know what I'm saying? at the beginning when you haven't done anything on the server yet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please check out MyBB as well as PHP BB. That's a good one as well. It pretty much does the exact same thing, and the installation is pretty much the same for both of these forum boards or bulletin boards. So check it out for yourself. If you ever wanted to like set up your own forum board, this is a very simple way to set one up and get it going. But please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below, and of course, keep it techie.